Grand Rising, Elizabeth. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising. Today, our host is the magnificent, audacious, beautiful, sexy, creative Mama Hetheru.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Queen Adoni. Thank you so much. We
And
have
for those who come on Wednesdays, looking for Mama Ayaba and Mama Awa, they are dealing with life right now. Life has like, bam, come and set right in both of their houses. So we give them that space to do that. And we miss you. We miss y'all. And, but as sisters do, we step in and we got your backs. And Mama Het is the one to do it.
all right. Give thanks and praise.
Yes.
I'm glad. I really do miss Mama Yaba and Mama Howard.
Yeah.
They add such a special sauce, a special flavor to the mixture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Down home flavor.
Yeah, right, right. It's like we
So
go down south on Wednesdays.
exactly. Yes, we have to pick.
Go
Everybody
down
has
to the plantation.
right. We have to pick some destinations and just look at those aspects as well. That's funny that we feel that's a Southern comfort.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes,
Southern
yes,
comfort. Southern hospitality. Yes, from
yes.
the elders. That is amazing. So I wanted to share. I made up some cards. I had some flyers that were Hi Mama Evelyn.
Uh-huh.
I
Moving
had
around.
some flyers that were one sided. Once upon a time, we used to have one sided flyers. And so I began to put all of my memes on them that I liked or some things that I said myself. So these are my own cards that I always said I wanted to make. So I'm halfway there.
Uh-huh.
So, one that was important to me, a most important lesson: don't let anyone make you cruel. No matter how badly you want to give the world a taste of its own bitter medicine, it's never worth losing yourself. And that's an unknown. That's somebody that's lived life. Okay. And then I have one other one from Siri Gram Too Far. Instead of getting even or teaching someone a lesson when they do you wrong, consider teaching yourself a lesson instead. Revenge keeps you physically connected to another in a negative way. Release yourself through the liberating act of forgiveness and learn a truly valuable spiritual lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da!
Mm-hmm.
Mm, those are some good tidbits. Okay, so today is Wednesday. Wonderful Wednesday. And what I wanted to do was to take us on a journey to the sky for a deeper dive into self. So we have the charts, the natal chart. Now there was a time when it was early in my relationship with my husband, my partner. I was deep into church and I he was very much so about the stars and the planets. And so one day I asked him, I said, Baba, I said, if you believe in God, why are you, studying the stars and the heavens and whatnot? And he asked me, he said, who made them?
That was it.
There was nothing left else to say. And then in
Nothing.
my studies of African culture, I learned that the Dogon people mapped the heavens and the sky. Hold on a minute. Now, listen, everybody. What I need you to do right now, this is a water, coffee, or a restroom break real quick. I need to get my coffee cup. And I think everybody, you got to get something to drink, get your water and your coffee and your tea really quick. Not going to be long. All right. Because it is important to have our morning sip.
I already have my tea.
Very good. Very good, Star. Did you have anything you wanted to share that just came into your into your being today? Did you have anything you needed to share? I know you do. I know you do. I feel it.
How did you know it was me?
Your voice. And Elizabeth, step in for one another. We just happen to do that, you know. That's something.
We've been hearing each other's voice for how many months? This is May, June, July, August, September, October. This is the 6th month, sisters.
Six
We've been holding
months.
it down for 6 months.
We're getting ready to go into the third trimester.
Yeah. That's right. Oh my God, that is so true. This baby is, yeah. Mm-hmm. Being born again.
Born again. Yes. So, Star, do you have any what do you call it when you have a
Revelation or
yes, a revelation or a vision or something that happened?
insight.
Yeah.
Um, I really want to commend your partner for I won't say putting you in your place. Just I will say this, reminding you of how, well, who or what God is.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we don't remember. And I had to stop treating myself so bad because some things sometimes I do not remember what God is and what I am. And it happens. We cannot, sometimes I try too hard. And so I want to commend the Elizabeth platform because when God sanctioned this platform, um, it was actually a part of the ministry of the Elizabeths because everybody that comes gets a taste. And we're in it all the time, so we just feel wonderful. And hopefully it makes it easier for us, Elizabeth, when we feel like things are not right or we didn't do something we thought that we should have done or we made a mistake or something, that it is just another day, another time, another thought, and that it's okay. Doesn't mean we fell off the wagon. And even if we did, the wagon ain't going nowhere till we get back on. So um, I think that's all I want to say.
That was
Just
very special.
don't be so hard on ourselves, because God ain't.
I know that's right.
Not
Thank
at
you.
all.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I knew there was something there to say. You know, I just knew it. So I hope everyone got a chance to run to the restroom or grab some water or something to drink as we sit here
Yep.
and share.
Got my drink.
Good job. Oh, is that a goddess drink you have there?
Hmm. Well, it's Bolt House
Yes.
Green Goodness.
Yes, yes. I love their chai tea, their vanilla chai.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I could I love that. All right, family. So we're gonna just go ahead and get in this session real fast.
Speaking of uh um the chi that they have,
Yes.
that is really good for cereal as your milk.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And I like it hot or cold. I'll warm
Yeah.
it up.
I've never had it hot. I've had to, especially during the winter, I'll warm it up.
Hmm. All right, well, family. So the dive is we're gonna do a view of you from the sky, natal astrology, birth chart analogy.
Mm.
This is my little presentation. Ta-da! Okay, so first we're gonna look at the verbs of the signs. So we have Aries verb, which is I am. So this is kind of like what their trademark or trade verb is, if you will. Taurus is I have. You know, as a Taurus, we're all about what our things. Gemini is I think. Cancer is I feel. Leo is I will, either willing something into existence or I will do. Okay.
Mhm.
Virgo is I analyze. Oh my goodness, the Virgos are gonna break it down and make sure that it is
Oh
seen
my
and
God.
visible. Libras are is our balance, which is a
Yes,
sign
that's
now.
me.
Happy Libra season to all our Libras out there in the world.
Well, thank you very much. Thank
Hey.
you.
Doo, 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 doo. I wish I had a
Yay.
button. And then we have our Scorpios, and their verb is I desire. Sagittarius's verb is I see. Capricorn is I use. Capricorns are workaholics. They are working, working, working day and night. When they go on vacation, they're working, okay? We have our Aquarians. They know. I know is their verb. They have information. And our Pisces, I believe. Okay, just wanted to share those things. Did anybody have any comments? Are you feeling this, or are you aware? Were you aware of these verbs? As
Yeah,
this,
those verbs seem to really define those different months or what
energy.
signs.
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
So now I wanted to take us, let's get connected. So for the signs, they have a glyph, which is a little, I don't know what the glyph is. I guess a glyph is a form of a picture or a symbol that they use for you to know that we're referring to the zodiac symbols. Then you have their actual, if you will, the avatar. So the Aries is represented by the ram. Taurus is the bull. Gemini is a set of twins. Cancer is the crab. And sometimes, just knowing something like that, if you think about a Cancer, I'm only using that because that's my partner. They don't walk forward, they walk sideways. So that's something you need to be aware of when you're dealing with them, because they're gonna, if they're in protection mode, they're going side to side, not front. They might attack you from the from the side and not head on. I mean, just little things like that, little details about different energies is so aware. Leo represents the what? Rawr, the lion. Okay. Virgo is the only, I think the Virgo is the only human in the chart. All the rest of them are in are animals or symbols. And the Libra is our scales, which is very
Yeah.
important. They say for our comedic understanding, when we get ready to go to when we go to the underworld, that we have to have our heart measured on a scale against a
Mm.
feather. And woo woo woo.
Wow.
I know I have work to do. That's what I know. I got work to do. Then we have our Scorpion, our Sagittarius, which is half human and half animal, and our Capricorn, another horned creature. We have our Aquarian, and then our Pisces. And I laugh at the one that's Pisces because I always think about my parents. My parents are born, they were born the same day in the same year. So that literally is my parents, the two fish. Okay. Yes, I had twins for parents. So let's go on to the body parts. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. So our Aries our Aries sign, they rule the head, face, brain, and eyes. So if we had any challenges, where do you think they might get affected the most? In those areas. Or when we see Aries people, the thinking of Aries is I'm going straight for it. Okay? They gonna run, they have the horns, and so they're gonna go straight to a thing. So if you have Aries children, you'll look at how they're headstrong. Okay. Our next is Taurus. The Taurus rules the throat, neck, vocal tract, thyroid gland, the vocal tract. Oh, they have that on there twice. My bad. The throat, the neck, the vocal tract, thyroid gland. Okay. So I read once that Tauruses should always keep something on their neck. Should always have a scarf or a wrap or something around our neck to protect that area of our body. Okay. Our next is Gemini. They rule the nervous system, hands, fingers, shoulders, and lungs. And some Geminis, you'll notice that they talk with their hands.
Hands.
They're always a duh, 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 duh. So you'll notice that sometimes. So and sometimes one of the things that I like to do is go back when I was a child and look at these things. So then I'm not so I'm more objective. So in looking back at my friends and everything, I really like my core group. Like in my house, it was Pisces, Libra, Gemini, and Taurus. So as I travel in my different areas, people that I grew up with or worked with or went to school with, to college, I keep those people are always. I'm never too far away from those groups of people.
Okay.
And it's really a trip. So as we're sitting here, if you have something to jot down, something to write with and some paper, jot down those little ciphers of friends and see if this consistency, you might remember sometimes you don't remember people's birthdays, but like your friends when you grew up, you kind of remember theirs. We went to enough birthday. We went to what, 17, 18, 25 birthday parties from people that we were hanging with. So I just want you to begin to look and just jot down the names. And if you remember their birthday, what month it was in, we can get close because we can figure it out. Okay, our next sign is the Cancer. They rule the chest, the breast, and the stomach. Oh, yes, Queen Aduni. Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking, wouldn't that be awesome to, matter of fact, I think this one brother did that. But anyway, like to take your family, for instance, and these are people you grew up with, you interacted with, you got mad at, you rejoiced with, all of that stuff. You ate, you learned about each other, and do a chart with all of them and see how accurate that is about how we grew up and our interactions and stuff. That would be amazing, because these are people, like if we did it for us, we could see what the possibilities are. But if we did it for those who we know, who we fought with, who we cried with, who we slept with, who we, interchanged and ate with, what kind of food they like, how they respond to challenges or rejoicing and stuff. And just it has someone just to do that and look back on your life as it relates to the signs, to this, that would be amazing. I know that they do. I know is she still there? Yeah. Mama Evelyn, didn't you all do that when you and Danielle and Sunzi and all of you were in a group? Weren't you in that group? Oh, she can't talk. Anyway, Sunzi and them, they were in a group and they had a person who was an astrologer. And he did the chart of success for the group. And I know that they do it for companies and stuff like that. That would be amazing. I'm going to do that.
Yes,
and then it might be something missing in your as far as like a company.
Yes.
There may be a sign missing that would strengthen,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be amazing?
Mama Shu says she used that in her classroom. She used the signs in her classroom. How she set up the youth sitting.
I have to have Mama Shu on.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we have to have her on.
She could do it Wednesday.
Yeah, I was just thinking, we could do, okay.
I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write that down.
Right.
Have your pens ready. You never know when things will pop up. But
Right.
think about it, just like with you, Queen Aduni. And let me just say thank you, Sister Cheeks, for coming in today. I see you. I see you and your both of you there. I said yes. Thank you so much for coming back. Appreciate it. Who else is hiding in the ranks? Let me do a little. Oh no, I can't see. Queen Aduni, you can look because I got my screen set up so I can see all the people. So hello out there, those joining in. Make sure you have something to drink. Go to the restroom and have your liquid ready for us today.
And pen and pencil.
Yes.
Paper.
So thinking about, let's think about the people that when you want to go on a field trip, who you gonna call?
Mm-hmm.
You definitely don't want to call anybody grumpy because that's a long ride to be, fussing in the car, But when we go somewhere that needs to be scrutinized and challenged, then that's when we take those people. Everybody's role is good because there's some place for everybody.
Yeah.
So let's move on to our Leo. The Leo rules the heart, the spinal column, and the upper back. And if you think about that, just as these certain areas are target areas for the body, so we need to look at when people become ill, are they heartbroken? Do they have challenges with their back, spinal column? So these are good to help us. A lot of people are saying, I don't want to do that astrology stuff. But like I said, my partner told me that God made the stars and the planets too. And we can use everything for good or bad. There's chaos and order to everything. Mm-hmm. So let's use this information to help us maneuver better through the world. Our Virgos are the upper digestive region, stomach, and intestines. Our Libras rule the kidney, lower back, lower intestines, and the buttocks. Let's see who's next. Our Scorpios. Scorpios rule the reproductive system and sexual organs. Sagittarius is the thighs. All right. Any Sagittarius in the house? Tap your thighs. Yes. And our Capricorns are the knees and joints, teeth, and bone structure. Mm-hmm. And our Aquarians are the inner regions of the stomach. So now that we have this information, think about what you need to target on to be careful about in your dealings with the world. So if let's say Taurus and I rule the throat, I may have a challenge speaking up. You know what I mean? Because one of those things, that was something when I got a reading from Mama Ayana, she was like, hey, you need to get some turquoise because you need to use your voice. Whether it be singing, speaking. I used to do announcements at church, different things like that. Using your focus area for your money making or for your joy and pleasure. Mm-hmm. Look at those target areas because those are where your specialties lie. Okay. So now, if we look at the symbols and their meanings, we have keywords here that we can look at for the different signs. I switched my board. Let's go back. Is it not gonna go back? It's not going back. I want to go back. Okay. Okay, so we have different keywords also. So for the Aries, they're fierce, forceful, courageous, and impulsive. Taurus, sensuous, peaceful, stable, and obstinate. Gemini, mental, communicative, perceptive, and superficial. Cancer, nurturing, emotional, intuitive, empathic, and moody. Leo, kingly, expressive, self-confident, and ego-centered. And just think about it. If somebody is a king, what are they looking to be? They're looking to be served,
Yep.
to be
Yep.
taken care of. So think about your Leo energy.
Mhm.
I need to be taken care of. Okay. I'm not picking on folks. I'm just speaking from experience. Okay.
I
So
know. I, I know a Leo that my cousin's ex-boyfriend. He was so it was so important for him to be noticed.
mm-hmm.
It was so important that everything was perfect and he got praise for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was so important that he was in charge. It was
Mm-hmm.
so important. Yeah, yeah. I remember they were dancing. He was really good at ballroom dancing, and my cousin, of course, being a partner was good too. And we went over somebody's house, and the ballroom dance came on. They was like, "Oh, come on, you gotta dance, you gotta come on, you gotta dance." And so she was like, she didn't really want to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And so afterwards, this is when I first came to Detroit. And so I said, "Well, how come you didn't want to dance?" And she said, "Because the entire time that we are dancing, he is in my ears saying, 'You better not fuck up,' the entire time, so that he looks good." Yeah. Yeah, he was very much a character. So she could not, every step she had to make sure, or she was going to have to deal with it when they got home.
You know what kind of partner he do best with? An invisible partner. Because I danced with a man who was like that, and I told him, I said, you know what? This is not working for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can't be me, then we don't need to dance together. Well, and people that are good, they don't have to say one word. Not one word. When you're dancing, if you touch me a certain way, I'll know but dancing, like with anything, is about a vibe. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But all that, you being abusive on the dance floor, you got to go.
Yep.
No, I'll go. You can stay. I'll go.
Uh,
Well, does anybody else have any experiences that are standing out from looking at the meanings and the connections to body parts here for the signs? Anybody else?
I just know with me being an Aquarian,
Mm-hmm.
inner regions of the stomach, and it's just telling me that some things is happening. I need to go on and cleanse my body and get that core strengthened.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Yep.
Well, this can really help, and you can really identify things. But it's going to open up so much more when we get to the next part. It's going to open up so much more. So let's go to our Virgos, they're chaste, detail-oriented, serving, and perfectionists.
Yes.
And professionalistic. Woo, you better get it right if you got a Virgo on the team.
Woo, yes, 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 yes.
Our Libras, our dear Libra. Mama Evelyn, you saying something there, babe?
That was me, Ram Ramrousing. I just said, help.
Hey, I know that's right. I know. Mama Evelyn, I think we're hearing you. You might be in your buds again, so you got to transfer out of the buds and onto the phone. I think it's a little button to tell where the mic is, either speaker or buds or whatever the device is.
Mama
Can you hear me now?
Yes!
There you go.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I was just saying my moon is in Virgo. The moon and the sun rising, they're both in Virgo. So I'm like,
You're hit, huh?
yeah, I'm hit.
You destined to get it right.
I tell you what I do know about Virgos they are family. They will kill you over their family.
Mm-hmm.
They are very protective of their family. And I mean, they're good parents, really good parents. Don't mess with their babies. Don't mess with their family, especially those that came out of their body. Oh my goodness gracious. Yep. Yeah, my mom was a Virgo, and 6 kids. We didn't know that we were broke. We didn't know we were poor. We didn't know that we wasn't supposed to be going to Disneyland and stuff. Mama made it happen, and she believed us. If anything went wrong, she's going to believe her children. She, yeah, yeah.
All
Most
right.
definitely.
Wow, Mama Evelyn, you either gonna get it right or you gonna get it right.
That sounds about right.
I like it. I like it. So then we have our dear Libras for balance, harmony, reconciling, and indecisive at the same time. Now, my sister, my sister, I love her dearly, but we are cut from the same cloth. So then we have our Scorpios. They are intense, instinctual, and sexual and secretive. Okay. Our Sagittarians are friendly, open-minded, philosophical, and imprudent. Capricorns are practical, ambitious, and masterful. Our Aquarians are usually revolutionary, intensive, abstract, intelligent, and unpredictable.
That is me.
I agree.
I
Hey,
stand.
that's how you
stand
get to be a good
accused.
Elizabeth.
Right.
We need all of that to be a good Elizabeth. All right.
Yes.
I love it. And then our Pisces are selfless. They are they'll help everybody. And then they get mad when nobody. Anyway, let me go back. Selfless, mystical, compassionate, imaginative, and sensitive. All of that, all in the Pisces. So even though we have certain signs, when we were born at a certain time, we still have all those great qualities of the people who made us mixed together. So
Yeah.
this is what makes the natal chart so much fun. Let's see. Did I do chart or food yet? Okay, so let's look at the elements. So I've even had our teachers do something like this where we put the earth people together, the water people together, the air people together, and the fire people together. So our water signs are Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Those are water people. We have they're imaginative, empathetic, emotional, nurturing, and intuitive. Okay. Then we have the elements of our earth signs are detail oriented, down to earth, cultivated, grounded, and practical. Okay. And that's the Taurus, Virgo, and the Capricorn. We have our fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And I'm following the little circle here. So the signs are in the innermost part of the circle. The fire signs are brave, artistic, confident, passionate, and independent. So think about your children or it's really good to know when you have people that you're working with to know this. Hetheru does this for everything. He does it for classes. He does it for people you work with. You'll know when they might be a little testy, when they're a little aggravated, and it just helps work with them a little bit better. Our air people, our Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini are witty, social, spacey, intellectual, and good listeners. Now, for me with traveling, I love Geminis on the road. Geminis are great on a car trip. Most of the people that I travel with have some type of Gemini somewhere in their chart. Great drivers and good company on the road. Depends on how they getting along in life. All right. Any questions or anything you want to share? Anything hitting home?
Yeah, I would love to get mine done again. And also,
Hmm.
that's what I wanted to talk to you yesterday about was that name thing.
Oh, the nut. Yes, the
Mhm.
Caballerians. We can definitely talk about that. We can definitely talk.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now we want to pull back and go look at our planets now. These are the energy centers of the life experience. So your sun speaks to your creative energies, nature of self, life purpose, and your consciousness. So what happens is when we read the horoscopes, I don't even like the name of that, the horoscope. When you read your horoscope, you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe this, but not that, and maybe this, and no, I don't do that, things like that. But when you open up the natal to find out where the planets were when you were born, it's a whole nother da 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 da.
Mhm.
Like I've worked with people who I clashed with a lot. And once I pulled down the personal thing and began to look at it, I'm like, oh, that's because she acts like me. Oh. Two of you sometimes is just something. When you open your mind, when you look at somebody that you're always something is tense. And sometimes it might be a person who is your opposition. So if you look 6 months past your birthday, that's called your opposition. And I didn't know this until after I met Heru. Now I remember when I was little, I would get like tonsillitis. It was clockwork. And when I get the most sick, it was usually in November. But I didn't realize that until Baba said, your opposition is Scorpio. So I went back. So it didn't fit because I knew. It fit because I remember when I would get the most ill. Again, Taurus need to keep the neck covered. If I kept my neck covered, I probably wouldn't have so much challenges. So, so I realized that tense time of the year for me is when Scorpio is going on. That's when we should rest and listen more and just relax. Like it's coming up for me, so I'm getting ready and get my books together so I have things to read and occupy my time. But let's go ahead and go back into the planets. So your moon is more in touch with your inner being, your feelings, your reactions, and your soul development. Your Mercury deals more with your mentality, your mind, your communication, your nerves, and your senses. Venus is the values, receptiveness, intake, and harmony. Mars deals more with action, self projection, ambition, and impulse. Jupiter, expansion, spirit, assimilation, and compensation. Now, Jupiter is a big planet, so it's going to have more of an influence on you because it's a bit more massive than some of the other planets, okay? Saturn is another big one. Saturn is your structure, your form, responsibility, protection, and limitation. Your Uranus is change, breakthrough, new energies, and transformation. Neptune planet is integration, obligation, loss of this distinction, and beyond the individual. Neptune is a dreamy and starry planet. Like so you're there. I think that they said Neptune is more like illusions and dreams. Okay. And Pluto, who becomes a planet every other year and is kicked out every other year. So Pluto is about transition. I mean, the word is there. Transition, life, death, rebirth, cycles, power sources, and compulsion. So now we're going to go back if I can. Are you not going to let me go back? Oh, I think I need to click on this. I got like two computers going on here, so that's why yeah. All right, so another builder is our houses. So when we look at our natal chart, we also go inside, and so they're called the houses. So this is how you get where your planets are, your planets and what sign they're in. So you have how the planets affect, and then how the sign affects, and now you have these houses. So it's really like a gear, if you will. Okay. So, our first house is subjective self-awareness. Personality is sometimes your mask, what you put on. Your identity, self-image as projected to others, your self-expression, and your outer expression. Our second house is the resources, resourcefulness, self-esteem, values and valuables, materials and security, attitudes towards possessions. The third house is mindset, thinking, speaking, and writing style, learning, interactions with siblings, and communication. These are what the houses represent. Your fourth house is your home, private life, roots, heritage, family, psychological foundation, subconscious patterns. 5 is a house of creativity and recreation. Now, so if you're looking to find something, like I said, the 5th house, it would be where I would look for people that want to go hang out and do adventures, because this is recreation. So you want to look for somebody that's got some commonality in this area. These are just how you're able to use this as a tool. Entertainment, pleasures, romance, children, and play. I love the babies. I need to be with someone that's going to enjoy children if I'm going to work at the school. Some teachers, they might not necessarily like children, but they want to teach. So sometimes it's your passion that'll draw you to be somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's a way to look at it. So sixth house is self-improvement, service, employment, work routines, health and nutrition, duty. 7th house is partnerships, marriage, one-on-one relationships, alliances, or conflicts with others, and legal matters.
Mama had
Yes.
How
we doing?
With the houses, is okay, being an Aquarian, is that house always, or do you change? In other words, can you get a certain, you get other things in your life, something else is happening. Will my house change, or is that what I was born into, and that's my part of my character?
It'll be part of your makeup, but remember, the planets twist and move.
Yeah.
So what happens is there's what's called an aspect. Your aspects are things like a trine, an opposition, a conjunction, or what's the other one? There's another one. It's 4, 5. But we'll talk about that. It's the relationship to your sign. And when the planets are moving, that's when it does change. But your base, your core, is what your natal chart is. And then what happens is, that's why I said it's like gears, because Hetheru looks at it as a clock face. So as the planets change, the planets affect each sign differently, right? So you got to remember what your sign is and what that main. So let's say Aquarian. Let's say you like, your task. You like to sing and play the tambourine, and you're also ready to birth this building for this empire. So we'll look at where the signs are when it's time for you to plan for it, and you may see in your chart that, oh, this wasn't the moment for that, but it always comes back around. But this may be a better moment to go and to execute it. Remember, you said you had that stumbling block that one time, like, it's gonna feel like this, but let's wait, because this is not the right people to deal with it in this instant. So we'll look at that in just a moment. I'm gonna give you all a chance to actually do a chart so you can see how it works. So you have renewal, and 8th house is renewal, sex, death, rebirth, transformation, deeply felt peak experiences, depth interactions with others, growth and change. 9 is the search for meaning, higher education, mind expansion, philosophy of life, religions, journey, and travel. 10th house is achievement in the world, authorities, public life, recognition, guides, or career vocation. 11th house is group involvement in clubs, That's where we want to look at. We want to take a look at your 11th house and what's happening in it as you're building this empire. You see what I'm saying? So that would be a place that you want to find people that'll help blow that up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then our 12th house is service to humanity, self-transcendence, self-sacrifice, retreats from the world, and unacknowledged or repressed parts of oneself. 12th house is called the house of secrets. Okay. So let me see which way I go this time. Oh, I keep touching the keyboard for the other computer. We already looked at the planets. All right. So, okay, let me just they also have foods suggested for the signs of what your diet would be better at. So if I'm a Taurus and I have to be mindful of my, what did it say? My neck and throat. I don't know. I'm just going to throw this out there. I might want to be mindful of dairy products. I'm just throwing that out there. But they give you suggestions for how to eat more consciously. Just suggestions. And remember, because when we do our natal chart, we'll find out that we're made up of maybe 7 or 8 other signs. Like for me, I am a Taurus with a full moon in Scorpio. So I live in opposition with myself. Because not only does this, as the moon is passing through the week, every week we get maybe a couple days that where the moon is traveling through a sign. So we have to look at how the moon affects the sign that we're in relationship to your chart. So it's a whole ba of things. So let's look at no, that's the wrong mouse. Okay, let's go down. Is it letting me work it? Okay, it's still building. So for instance, they were saying that for Arians, lettuce, walnuts, potatoes, spinach, onion, cucumbers, lentils, apples, radishes. So these are just some samples of, and I can put this in the chat. I think I can put it in the chat. I don't know. Can I get it in the chat? Oh yeah, I can do all of this stuff. So you all can just glance over and check out this page. But just looking at the different types of foods. And they also, in some of the books that they have, there's one book called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. And I think one time Heru and I were able to buy that book for like $1 something. We got like 20 of them. We just passed them out to people. But they have many, many resources for foods, energy, for, just watching out for what diseases to be mindful of because, of a certain area that you may see yourself having challenges with. Pisces may have issues with the feet. Your Gemini, they use their hands a lot. Like, even though, for hands, you want to make sure that you keep your hands warm. You want to be more aware of that body part that you need to stay focused on to help with your the learning of yourself, if you will. All right, let's go back. So now what we can do, like Mama Evelyn, I already heard you say you wanted to look at your chart again. So guess what? We have the opportunity here. Oh, where's my do? I think my little thing is over. Okay. So one website that we use is called Cafe Astrology. I do like them. There's another one that I like better, but Cafe Astrology would be better to use because they go into more depth. And these are free sites. Mama Head usually, most of the times when Mama Head shares anything, it's going to be free 99. I hope you understand that. Okay, free 99. So we're going to go into Cafe Astrology. Now, what happens if you don't know your time of birth? What I tell people is, when do you feel at your best? Because I don't know if times were written down. I think times were written down on birth certificates later in this experience. They didn't do it in the beginning. And it was so funny because I had a girlfriend. She said, wow, my daughter, on her birth certificate, Wait, the father was called the Negroid, and the
Yeah.
mother was called the colored. I said, well, what does that make the baby?
A
So you can
colored
find different,
Negroid.
right? Negroid.
A
Like, what
colored
is that?
Negroid.
I do know my time of birth. I do.
Okay, that's awesome. So let me get to my little area. So when you go to Cafe Astrology, there's a lot of information on the sides and they help walk you through your chart. It's so much. Don't get overwhelmed by all this information on the side here. So what you want to look for is the free reports and calculations. And I've given, let me go ahead and put that in there so you all can go on and work that. Work the magic, work the magic. Okay, so that the first one is for the foods, and the second link is for Cafe Astrology to just dibble and dabble right here where I am. So if you know your information, you can go ahead and key that in. You scroll down. Let me move us over. I just keep moving us all around the room. So you want to put your name. I never put a last name. You can do a nickname because they don't need to know all that. They don't need to know all that. Whoever they are. So we'll put in Glamour. All right. So month is
December
December. Day
25.
25. And you can tell us your year.
1954.
I like that number. I like that number.
I'm older than you.
Yes, you are a little bit.
She's a baby. She's a baby. Okay, so now look, exact birth time. What is it?
10:34 p.m.
Okay, so we're going to go into the military and get 10. Oh, I passed it up. Hold on. That's 22. I love those doubles. I love the doubles. 10 what? 10 what now? Minute?
34.
Dang, Mama Evelyn, you got it all the way down to the. But didn't you say you a Virgo and a Virgo and a Virgo and a Virgo? Now what city?
Pontiac. Pontiac. Pontiac, Michigan.
Okay, there we go. Now we are going to. Okay, the UTC time offset is -5. So that's probably be. I don't know. Are we in whatever setting? That's for the time zones. Based on this place, based on the source of this, whoever's doing these charts. That's why it's a universal time. Let's see. A -5. Okay, but basically, now what we're doing, do I need to make this a little smaller? Control. So whenever you have a page that's not big enough and you want it smaller or you want it larger, you can use a command button and the plus symbol or the command button and the minus or dash. For people who have PCs, you would use the control button to open and close your image so you can look and see different. Now, as we look at this chart, the innermost circle shows the aspects and relationships to different to the signs and planetary alignment. Okay, so certain degree, I'm not good at this. This is where I want the Baba to come in and talk because he has this stuff lives in his head. Like he'll forget your birthday, but he remembers everybody's chart. I don't know how he does. The beautiful mind of the man. Anyway, so as we look at this chart, so we're looking for our symbols and we're looking for, you can see the numbers on the dial. So this is how Mama Evelyn's chart looks. If you look at it, there's most activity in the, let's say, you see there's one quadrant, there's a few quadrants, the 10th house, 9th house, 8th house, 6th house houses are kind of empty. And they say that when there's nothing there, that means you've learned those lessons already. So you're here to work on the ones that are filled over here. Your first house is open too. All right, so we're looking at the dial. So if we want to find her sun sign, we're going to look for the symbol of the sun. And let's see. Okay, her sun is right over there with I think Uranus and Mercury. We'll figure it out because they'll give us a little chart. So let me roll down and we can go down. So this, Mama Evelyn, when you look at this, okay, so it says your sun is in Capricorn, okay? That's this symbol right here.
Mhm.
See, this is Capricorn right here.
Okay.
And there's your sun. It's overlaid with something else. I can't think of. I don't. Some of these different charts use different sites use different symbols. So sometimes I get a little tweaked up. But that's why we're doing this so you can discover and understand. Now, did you say you were a Virgo?
I thought it said, I remember getting it and they said sun and moon in Virgo. Maybe does it change? I don't
Now
know.
let's double check Mama Het's calculations. Did you say December what day?
25.
1954.
You're a Christmas baby.
Yeah, Christmas baby definitely is. I mean, you a special gift now. I will say that. But I think it looks like you're a Capricorn based on this chart. I'm just saying. And if you're born in December, but you must have you know what you're let's see. I can look right now and tell you what's in Virgo right now. Let me see. That's Scorpio, Leo, Virgo, blue, Scorpio. Virgo, your ascendant is in Virgo.
Okay.
Okay, so that's your rising sign. So this is where it does a clock face type of movement. And so what planet? I don't see any planets, but your ascendant is in Virgo and it's open. So you bossy, you understand, you already have this lesson down pat. So you are correct about your corrections, okay? And everybody need to know that. Okay? All right. So let's go look at. So now, when you go in here, it says it lets you know that the sun in the chart shows your character, personal identity, and ego. It represents your will to live and your creative life force, just as the planets revolve around the sun. Da 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 da. So let's go in and let's look a little bit about the Capricorn. Capricorn is a feet on the ground, eye on the prize sign. Those with the sun in Capricorn adopt a realistic, grounded approach to life that is unmistakable, no matter how dreamy the rest of the birth chart may or may not be. Capricorns know how to do things and know how to get them done. Okay? See that? Listen, okay? Ta-da! All right, so that's the sun. So remember what they're giving you is an analogy with the sun's energy and the Capricorn energy as the sign that was where you were when you were born. So let's go look at something else. We're gonna just go down. Now let's look at this Virgo ascendant. I have this same ascendant. That's probably why we doing a whole bunch of the same things. People with Virgo risings are often a little understated in their personal mannerisms and appearance, although a lot depends on the position of the Mercury, the ruling planet of Virgo, in their chart. There's an intelligent and reserved aura about Virgo rising individuals that is unmistakable. However, you may come across as somewhat shy or aloof, as you need time to analyze everything around you before you warm up to both situations and people. Because I'm going to study you first. I'm going to watch and study you. This quality can be received exactly as that, or it can be received as rather standoffish, cool, and even critical manner, depending on the audience. Okay? All right. So what did they say? Depending on your ruling, depending on the position. So let's go see where Mercury is. And then we'll take somebody else. Because now I've given you all the tools. Now you all can get in here and see what's happening. With Mercury and Capricorn, you have a strong need to compartmentalize the impressions you receive from the world. You sometimes speak and write slowly or methodically. You appreciate structure and order. Although you're resourceful, you quickly become frustrated when too much information is thrown at you at once. You break down ideas to manageable parts before arriving at a decision. That's enough meat and potatoes. How about that, Mama Evelyn? So you can go ahead and open up this chart and begin to look at yourself there. They give you a lot of information.
Okay.
It really is. What I've done is I've created my book is called The Book of I Am. And I pulled up my natal chart, my numerology chart, my name analysis, my human design, and I have a guest that I want to bring on for the human design as well. She's dynamic. And once you learn about this, it opens up your eyes about how we deal with one another in the world and how we move around. Did anybody else want to have a couple of, I'll give you a little tidbit. I'll give you an appetizer. Anybody else know their sun? And okay, come on, Queen, just unmute yourself. All right, let's get in here.
I was saying if someone else wants to go, of course.
Okay, anybody.
If not, I will go.
Okay, let's check our participants. I'm looking for hands or anybody. All right, we'll go ahead and do Queen of Dooney. But like I said, I've sent the resource. I've given you all the resource, and I will put this on our page on Facebook so we can also have that there so you can look, get the link as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm just going to say Queen. All right, birth month.
February 1.
February 1, 1953. All right.
Look how far you got to scroll down.
I know. Look, when I roll mine, I got to go. And your birth time?
Around 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Mm-hmm. I said a.m., a.m., a.m. On the nose?
No, that's my mom said around 2.
So do you want before or after 2:15, 2:10, or 2 o'clock is fine? It's all good.
2 o'clock, since we don't know either way.
Well, there it is. And your city?
Kansas City.
Okay, look. Now this is one thing you sure learn that your city is not the only city with your city's name. So is it Missouri, Kansas, Oregon,
Kansas?
All right. Select the birth time or check unknown. Hey, I said, okay, can we do this? Hey, they all in our business. All right. So it's a -6. All right.
So did we put unknown?
No, I didn't put unknown. I put 2 a.m. and the 00. I needed to select a minute. I hadn't selected a minute.
Okay, got it.
They're very specific about what they want here.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody might be a Virgo on the other end over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So now looking at your chart, you see you're more spread out. Because they even have a synastry for people whose charts are, one side where everything is on one hemisphere, or if it's, like a pie sheet. So yours is kind of spread out. You see how yours is spread out?
Mm-hmm.
And you have some areas that are open, which is your 7th house. So let me go see what that 7th house is. Let's see what we talked about that. In my houses. Our 7th houses in the chart. Okay, ladies, my bladder said I need a break, so talk amongst yourselves and I'll be right back.
So Mama Evelyn, how did that hit you? Unmute.
Yeah, I'm very bossy. Yeah, I am. I'm like drill sergeant. I'm like, do this, do that, do that. And I just say one thing at a time.
And then you follow up. Do you check it out, make sure it was done?
Yeah, and then he's like, because he'll forget, he'll say he forgets, but see, RJ gives himself away because he'll say, oh, we didn't hear you. But he can be in another room and hear us talking about something. He said, what did about you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. But yeah,
Exactly.
I'm bossy, and I do sit and watch before I engage
Mm-hmm.
in a situation.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so where were we now? We said the first house. So the first house is your rising sign identity, body, self, and appearance. So your ascendant is in Scorpio, if I'm not mistaken. So that is your first house. Your sun is Aquarius. Let's go look at that ascendant. Ascendant sign is Scorpio. So it defines in part the first impression we make on others. So they say that what you present to other people is your sun, is your ascendant. Even though you're born under the Aquarian, people will more so see the Scorpio ness of you. So it's the first impression we make on others in a personal rather than professional sense. It represents our physical appearance, our physical bodies, and overall health, and the body ego. It can be the mask or the costume we wear to greet the world. It reveals our natural and personal defense mechanisms that we use to adapt to and cope with our environment. The ascendant also shows our first impressions of the world around us and our expression of the same, whether we are naturally hesitant or enthusiastic. For example, how we began new projects and our attitude towards new experiences come under the rule of the ascendant. So, you're going to think with a Scorpio mind when new things come toward you. So, Scorpio ascendant people have a lot of presence. There is something about them that tells the world that they are not to be pushed around. Their manner commands respect, and then in some cases, fear. With your Scorpio ascendant, you can be quiet or loud, but you always seem powerful and determined regardless of what's going on inside of you. People either love or hate you. You are unlikely to go through life unnoticed. In fact, you might even find it confusing when you realize that you elicit such strong reactions from others. You seem to look right through people, seeing through superficiality. This can be quite intimidating to some and intriguing to others. In your dealings with others, you perpetually and instinctively look for answers by reading between the lines. Surface details are often quickly discarded when it comes to filling out a situation or people around you. You can amaze people with your ability to shake that tambourine to sum up a situation or individually very quickly and often very accurately. So when you feel something about a person, okay, even though you don't, didn't they say Aquarian knows? Okay. Even though we're talking about the Scorpio, the Aquarian knows. So all of these things go into this mixing pot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, now another good one to look, all of them are good, but let's go look at your Venus, where your love is. Venus is in Pisces. With your Venus in the mutable water sign of Pisces, you attract what and who you want into your life indirectly and magically. You project yourself as a dreamy, soft-hearted partner. Everything about the way you flirt promises a lovely time. In fact, you may not even be flirting much of the time, but you still manage to leave others intrigued. Yours is an elusive charm. You can be sweetly playful, a little moody, and perhaps a little irregular. You appreciate romance and poetry. There's the music writing. Or simply subtlety and pleasantness. You prefer to fill out both a person and a relationship you share. So it's better if a potential partner doesn't expect too much in the way of planning. Letting things flow spontaneously is essential to you for uncovering your feelings, which are fluid and best left to develop and unfold without pressure.
I'm a hum. I'm a hum.
Now, here's the thing. Here's what we were talking about. Go back in your mind and see where Pisces have been in your life. Have they been friends, lovers, playmates, business partners?
My sister's Pisces.
Whose sister? You talking about that star over there, or another sister?
No, another sister.
Okay. So, yep. So look at that relationship. And if you can, like I said, go back and look and see how many Pisces have been in your life and where they played the part in your life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's look at another planet. Let's look at Mercury, the one of communication. I think. Okay, forgive me for my do. Mercury is way before all these other, for Venus. It's a communication planet. This is the planet that was in disarray. You know, we just had it come out of retrograde, which means it was going backwards. So things were hemmed up or held up, or contracts were a little iffy. So now we're getting ready to move back into moving forward, but there's still few wins of communication challenges still happening with computers, travel, and our communication.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the Mercury and the Mercury is the style of communication. How do you make decisions? How do you pick up, process, absorb, and exchange information? These questions are answered in part by Mercury's placement by assigning your natal chart. Someone may be an assertive Aries, but they could also have a Mercury in Taurus with a style of communication that's slower, patient, and not quite as spirited as one would expect from an Aries. As an example, Mercury refines the sun sign, and it helps to define how we take in and give out information. Guess where yours is? Your Mercury is in Aquarius. Unconventional and self-expression. You enjoy breaking the rules. With your Mercury in Aquarius, you are not necessarily loud or flamboyant, but you can have a quiet way of stirring up others. I love it. Stirring others up. You may very well delight in exposing what you deem biases in others' way of thinking, or simply enjoy surprising or shocking others. Didn't she surprise you? Come on and be on. You're gonna do this day. I need you to do this day. I want you to join this team. And nobody. Yes, ma'am. I love it. I love it. So yes, take some time and spend with yourself and check out your charts. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
But it helps you get to know yourself a little bit deeper. So I enjoy this. And Heru shared with me, he's not doing this to make any predictions or anything, but he just uses it to find out how to deal with people. Because sometimes when we call them tennis matches. We don't argue. We have tennis matches where we're sending it boop, de boop, de boop, de boop.
Yeah, right.
He said, one day I told him, I said, you know what, Heru? Now let's go to the elements. I said, now I'm the earth and you're water. If I have too much water, I'm going to wash away and be rinsed off and go this here way and be all spread out all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, you think like water. Water waits for nothing. Water can go everywhere. It'll go through a hole. It'll go around. It'll go over. It'll go under. Water has no barriers because it's unstoppable. You could put a dam up and it's going to be a little seeping out. So if you think like water, and I'm an earth person, I get moved, right? The wind can move me a little bit. Water can move me. Fire can make me hot and blow up. I become a volcano, right? So you have to look at all of these little aspects. Like with wind, you have breezes for cooling temperatures, or you can have a tornado tear this sucker up, right? We have fire that will heat us, or fire that will burn shit down. We have what's other? Water. You have tsunamis, or you have an ocean at a beach, where you can just swim and enjoy yourself. Then you have, what's our other element? Why am I missing? Air. Did I do everybody? Air, fire. Oh, yes. The earth could either be growing your food or blowing up and becoming a volcano and setting everything off and starting over, okay? Because I'm a black it. It's going to all be black when I get done with it if I blow up. So think about that when you're dealing with people, the elements of us. That will help you understand better. What else was something that I used? Just like I said, putting people, putting the right mixture of people together. Sometimes you want a little bit of everything. When we look at the Last Supper, because some of the Bible is also, it is a lot of astrology in that, because when you look at the 12 disciples, that's the signs.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the different signs. You can assign the different energies based on how the people behave in there. And it uses a lot. They said with the rising of the sun, the 3 days for Easter, that's when the sun stays down or whatever. I can't think of the name of it right now. Where the sun stays dark and then it comes up and rises again. That's all metaphor for how the sky moves or how the sky operates. But just looking at, like I said, if you're a teacher, you might want to have, if you do groups of children, you might want to put an earth, wind, fire, and air sign together in groups to see how they operate. Or put all the earth signs together and see if they get the Capricorns, the Tauruses, and the Virgos, and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You have some, these are tools. And I know that when we were going through, we're still going through this pandemic, I began to look at and dive deeper and look at how all of these things, because I told myself I need to use everything I know. I even said, now I'm not no devil worshiper, but I was like, can you help us beat this COVID shit? I mean, excuse me. But I really went there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said we need, because what happens is, especially things of our culture, what's happened is, I've even read that they said that they burn the books. They said no, what they do is they don't burn the books. They take the books and put their name for who wrote it, or take the information out and put their name to the bottom of it. And because we're taught that what we do is devil worship and it's not right and it's evil, but then they turn around and use it against us. They use it to scare us and to put us in fear. And they're giving us our people, and we don't even know it, that these are things that we understood. So anyway, I just hope if you can find time to just really dive into this. And there are so many others that I want to share. There's another charting system called the Human Design. Hetheru also has looked at the Aztec calendar. Like in the Aztec calendar, I'm the grass and the house clan. So I'm a path. And when I look about it, everybody walks, and I mean this in a positive way. People have a path to walk on, and I'm the path. I help them get to where they want to go. I'm a networker. If you need to meet Queen Aduni, Mama Head gonna make sure I'm gonna make sure that the Quinder cut. Let's talk about you and Sister Cheeks there. Mm-hmm. You all wanted the Quinder cut. You all were on the path and ended up meeting again, because this was not the first meeting of you all, right?
Right.
Second time. So just the little the symbolism of how they do the charting. You also have the African medicine wheel, numerology. And Mama Evelyn, you said you wanted to look at the Caballerians, right? With the name chart, the name analysis.
Yeah.
Before you go, when you went to get a book, you were going to find out what that seventh,
the house was.
Yeah, because you said it was empty, and so.
Oh yeah, it's the seventh house is one-to-one contracts, business partnerships, and marriage. So you kind of have mastered that, how to do that in your past lives. Mm-hmm. So this time around, your focus is more on whatever your sign is in those other areas.
Okay.
So let me look. Wait. Let me go back. Yes. Thank you for bringing me back up to speed on that one. Because I'll run. I'll be gone. Okay, let me see. 7th house. Yes. Yep. So we just need to make sure that we select the right time. Now, look at it. The 7th house is in Gemini, between Gemini and Taurus. So that may be a time when you set up to look at this place or to dive into it. Like when we got married, Hetheru, he picked, I think something was in Gemini. We got married in the Gemini season. The moon was in Gemini when we got married, and he wanted that to be there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at this, you can gauge when it's best to do things. So it may be, since you have this area open, this might be a good time to make contract or gather the people to get whatever. Hetheru can better share that with you. We can have him do that, but I really believe that means that you've mastered in that space.
Would that be the same with the 2nd house?
Well, you have Chiron there. So there's a lesson there with Chiron in your, who is that?
Oh, I see. There's nothing in the box of 7.
Right.
I was looking at the lines, wondering if that's what. Okay, I got it.
So yeah, so that and if you notice that the 7th house splits, it's a little bit in Taurus and more so in Gemini. So that's the border or boundary, if you will. So yeah, so that has a special meaning for you in that 7th house. So now your 1st house, your ascendant, is also your 12th, your secrets, your secret house, and your rising, your identity, body, self, and appearance. Those two are also you. Oh wait, the ascendant is in the 1st, and that's right at the edge. So we might be looking at. So you're between your 12th and 1st house. I don't know, where is that at? So it's still in Scorpio. But that little section there, so maybe you might not have as many secrets as somebody else, right? But that area is kind of mastered. And if I need to be corrected, I will make sure that I talk with the Bible to get that down, and I'll get back with you.
Does he do charts?
Oh yes, he does. He can when you tell him when you were born, his mind, he can like, oh, your 1st house is da da da, and your da 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 and do da do. He sees it like a clock. I have to close my eyes every time I say it because it just blows my mind how he's been doing this. He studied with an elder, and it was a Pisces brother that was the elder too. But he'd been studying since he was 12.
You know what? I have to say this. First, thanks for sharing this and taking this time to do it, because it kind of, I'm going to say irritate. I could say piss me off, but I'm going to say irritate. Okay. That in my, I was raised a Christian, and all of this was rejected.
Yes.
And that I had to, so I would just say, the Holy Spirit will, reveal, blah, 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 and of course, at that time, I was in a Protestant church. And so we didn't really talk a lot about the Holy Spirit, except for the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, but nothing that takes you beyond, nothing that takes you beyond into spirituality at all. And so I knew I was Aquarian, but you dare not say that, you dare not say that you even read your horoscope today. That was horror, in the church. I can only talk about how I was raised and the church that I went to. And that was a missing.
Yeah.
That was a real missing for me. All the stuff around our culture, that was in the voodoo area. So you want to
Mhm.
stay away from that because you don't really understand it.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's a piss off.
Yeah.
Um,
Even like reading
and
about, for me, reading about witches, and when you look up what a witch is, first of all, they're a religious group, and they also were your they're who the women went to for birth, and if something was a complication with their pregnancy.
yeah,
And they were the root workers. They were the ones who went and got the herbs and gave and healed people. They were the doctors, if you
yeah,
will. But
yeah,
we're not taught that.
right. And if you say root worker, the word worker,
Witch
oh,
doctor, all
oh,
that, all that.
do not say divination. Oh, the whole thing. And I had gone to a doctor. I had fibroid tumors,
Okay.
and I was bleeding so much in my menstrual that I was very anemic.
Okay.
So I go to this African sister,
Mm-hmm.
and everything she's saying is making sense,
Right.
making sense. She's talking about my name and what my name means. Every time
Mm,
you call me Sheila, we're talking about the lower
mm.
lower half of my body and my sexual organs and stuff. We're talking that. So that's what Sheila. So she gave me a new name, right? Which I don't remember at this point. My niece, she remembered, but she's gone now. So
Okay.
she gave me a new name. And then I came back for another session. Now I'm all gun ho. We're going to deal this. We're going to get this thing out of me natural. They're going to go through this ceremony and it's going to come on out,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. Right. So I'm all ready to go. And then I go and I talk to her, and she said this word: I am a, oh gosh, which doctor?
Mm-hmm.
Totally cut me off.
Mm.
All that information, all those facts, all of those teachings that she had, she said that one word, and I never went back again
But
because I'm, it's not of God, and there was my healing right there. And had she never said that, and it was like, you don't ask your doctor, what do you believe in? When you go to the doctor,
not with the ones in the white coats. Nope.
no,
No,
you
no.
just they have their, when they come in, doctor, you don't know if they got a D in class and barely, you don't know if they're A student or anything.
They
And
could have cheated. They could have cheated all through school.
yeah, right. And so now that's and that's what I miss. I wish I would have had, um, the cultural background and such. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, how
Yeah.
we could be limited and
Mm-hmm.
hindered and
Mm-hmm.
handicapped by
Right.
not knowing more about yourself.
Right.
And so you almost end up like a rebel,
Mm-hmm.
saying, no, I need to find out this other information. And then as you're doing it, you're scared that your pastor might walk in and see you over here doing this, and
Right.
and you
Throwing
know
bombs and
just,
crystals. And
oh
these
no,
are all of God. And these things are all of God. The crystals
oh
come from the earth.
yes, yes,
But who are we to say that somebody wasn't anointed through this method? Because everybody's not going to get the same lesson in life. And
yes,
there are people
right.
here. You got people that are saying that they're ministers and their sisters and their mothers, and they doing all kinds of things
Yeah,
under a certain name. That's why I don't like to even use the word God because of what I've seen with it. So I like to say universe. God made that too, and
yeah,
my God is a universal God. So I just use the universe part.
yeah,
It's all right because I know what my relationship is, and that's what's important. But another thing, I'm glad you talked about that. Now I wasn't really taught not to do horoscope. we didn't talk about it at all. We didn't talk about any of this in my family, so I didn't even know it was out there to so until I got older.
Yeah.
And then I always looked at it like this. I don't feel this. But once I learned the natal chart and the human design and all these other things, because one man that created the human design, he said that he was on a journey, mountain climbing, and he went into this cave and he had this overwhelming understanding come to him. He changed his name. He began to put this out here, and his story is so it feels anointed. Because let me tell you, a lot of these religious leaders, they use this stuff. They do.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Some people use what do you call it? What you call those people? The ones that they use people. They use the presidents they got their psychics and they have their
yeah.
stuff, but they don't let you. It's only like certain people want only certain people to have so much information, because you realize that your relationship with God, it's good to have someone to help you cipher through this information, the Bible and all and other things.
Mm-hmm.
But your relationship is personal with the Creator.
Yeah.
We have a direct line, and that's what it seems like sometimes we're taught that we have to do this to do this. I got a direct line. If I'm feeling some kind of way and I'm laying in my bed, I can say, help me. I can talk to my grandma. So when I grew up Catholic, I'm an AME Catholic. I was Catholic 5 days a week and AME on the weekend. Okay. So I was, we didn't do confessional and all of that, talking to somebody and tell them our sins and get the this and the this and the this. I went to, we got the preacher right there. We didn't have to do it in that method. Mm-hmm. So there are different ways to reach, and different people are anointed in special ways. Because back in the day, the slaves didn't go to no doctor; they were sent to the veterinarian after your grandmama or whoever couldn't get your thing together. So I told Hetheru, if something happened to me, we going to the veterinarian. Because he said that they learn the human body first before they learn the animal body. Mm. It's so much out there. Listen, we better study all we can, because you need to know the difference between the this and the that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're going to somebody that's harming people on purpose, and they getting up
and they could be of any religion or any of the innies.
So I'm just saying, you can turn and you can seek out the good in anything. There's always, just like there's a plant that grows in Europe, you can't sell your home or get it refinanced if this plant is growing. And when I read about how treacherous everybody is saying the plant is, I told her, well, let me look up the plant. Do you know this plant is excellent for heart health? But if it's growing on your property, you can't sell your home because it's so this and so that. And it comes from, and this is a plant that grows after a volcano has erupted, and the lava has, you know how the lava crystallizes? This plant grows after lava. Once Hetheru told me that, I said, let me look at the health properties. I said, because this is too powerful to be nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't like to say call weeds anymore. Mm. But I'm looking at, I pulled this website up, and it says change your name and change your life. And you spoke about the woman giving you a different name.
So yeah, just because I printed out, and that's what because I was like, some of this stuff I resonated with, like but it says procrastination is your downfall. And I said, I call it procrastination and patience, because sometimes my procrastination leads to exactly what I wanted.
Right.
What I said I wanted, what I felt I wanted, just like Yeah, finding the right dentist. It led me to the right dentist.
Okay, I like that.
But
I
this
think I need
part
to make
and
that a
what I
comment. Say it again.
and
Procrastination leads to patience. What did you say?
I said procrastination and patience. Procrastinating can lead to, and patience, it's a patience. It's procrastination is patience.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in the
And
club too.
what I wanted to ask you about was, it says this name, because I remember finding out my dad named me Evelyn, and I know what Evelyn means, and I love the meaning of it, and I couldn't find it, but I do know what it means. But it says, this name does you an injustice as it restricts your success in business and personal pursuits through a lack of ambition. I resonate with that because I always feel like I'm on the verge.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know, because sometimes I don't think my ambition is like out there. I can have bursts of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know if, Sheila has Queen Aduni, if a change in name, not like an addition to
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn, would help direct my trajectory different so that I can break through that wall that I feel is there.
Yes. So when ISIS was being in bacon, when she was baking in the oven, um, Heru wanted to name her, and I was like, listen, I'm making toes and fingers. I ain't thinking about no name. I ain't got time for no name. I got better. I got other business going on. So he he named her Isis, and what we did was we looked for a name to strengthen Isis's weaknesses. And so that's why we spelled Elizabeth with we spelled it with an E at the end instead of an I. It's Elizabeth with an I at the end. And that name strengthened the weaknesses of Elizabeth, of Isis. And that's why people um, of our African culture, they name the child, like one of my girlfriends just told me. She said, my parents didn't name me until like 7 days after I got here, because the Africans, they wait to read the energy of the child before they name them, because your name is so important, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then have that naming ceremony. So, do you remember? I think Sister Nubia did she did a rites of passage for herself. I don't remember if she did another name, but I'm quite sure she did. But and when Heru gave me Hetheru, I was like, I'm already me. Because Andrea, well, Hathor really goes more with it, the Greek name. My
Mm-hmm.
name, because Andrea is Greek and so is Hathor. But Hetheru is the Kemetic name, and they all are the goddess of love, dance, and sensuality. And so I I definitely, it helped me understand why people name themselves, and not to get mad, my family, because they don't understand. But when you tell, and it really don't matter what other people feel, but when you look at the meaning of a name and you want to boost or advance yourself or evolve yourself, there's a time
Mm-hmm.
of evolution. So you want to make some change, and it's okay. And I can't seem to shake. Like sometimes I go places, I don't even like people to introduce me. And when when I ask people their names, I'll walk away. I'll say, "Hey, it's nice to meet you," and they'll go, "Well, what's your name?" And I forget, because I don't know who I am in the moment. And then they got these people with the pronouns. I don't have no problem with you and your pronouns, but don't trip me out. Wear a name tag so I can get it right. How about that? Just put a name tag in, and I don't have to worry about what I should or shouldn't call you. But today I'm so and so, because I might be Andy. So with my birth chart, I went through and gave like all my little nicknames and names that people have called me throughout my life. I went on and assigned like each one of my signs or houses or whatever. I gave it a name. Like I have Andy. One of my aunts called me Andy because I said, "Mama, why do you call me Angie? Angie don't go with Andrea." She said, "I named you what I wanted to." I was like, "Okay, no problem, no problem." So, but I was like, my nickname should have been Andy. I'm Andrea, you know. But my mother's here. She can name me what she wants to. But I have an Angie. Angie is my little girl that I take everywhere. Andy is like my little tomboy. Because let me tell you something. I might play with my dolls, but when the boys going to get on their bike and go ride, I'm going with them. I don't want to play with Barbie all day. I love my Barbie dolls, but I want to go have some adventures. So I'm going to go hang with them. They play football and basketball. And the girls just sit around with their little dresses on. I want to put some pants on and go ride my bike and go and play. I want to play football and baseball and I want to do all that. I want to go race cars. Okay? Boring girls. I'm not saying they're boring, but that was boring to my movement stuff. I need to go do stuff. I need to have adventures. So there it is. Be all you can be. You know what song I love? Is because at some point in time we've been every woman. I'm every woman.
Yeah.
There it is. So yes, Mama Evelyn. So do you now? There are people like Hetheru gives people comedic names. He'll look at your energy when you were born and say, okay, because a lot of times you can go right to our orishas, our Hetheru Kahooties, our wordsmiths, our artists. You have Thoth, who was the intelligentsia. You have Isis and no Aset and yeah, and the different orishas. You know, when you go through, I believe when people go through their when they become Ifa or Yoruba, they pick an orisha that's assigned to them because they see the energy of the orisha on them. You know, are you a crossword? Do you challenge the crossword? You know, Shango is the battler, and then there's a female assigned to each one. So their name, you know, there are names that you can use to help bring up and evolve Evelyn to get past her hurdles and whatnot. So there's always that option. So yeah, yep.
Wow, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Don't you know me?
But you know me.
I'm me.
I'm,
Don't you know me?
mm-hmm.
And you know who I be?
Right,
Being me.
right. But
Don't
it's good to know yourself. So when somebody does, then you can tell somebody that because, you know, people watching us see us differently. I was like, should our friends pick our mates or should we pick our mates?
I don't want my
You would be
friends
better with
to
so and so. You know, how do we do that?
Mm.
you get their advice. What do you think?
What do you think?
What do you think? Okay, thank you. That's enough.
We need to do it back. I need you to. I tell people. I told Isis. I said, let me tell you something. You need to find out. Just ask somebody about the mother or the father, and that the way they talk about them,
Yeah.
then you know
Yeah.
at least a little bit. Isis is a Virgo. So she has an Aquarian something and a Sagittarius something. I can't keep that straight. I do good keeping up with mine. But she, like when she was little, I found out that like she would chase little boys when we would go to the art gallery, and usually they were Leos. She'd chase them. When she was a little girl, I would always ask the mother, when is he born? And she would say, oh, he's a Leo. I was like, oh, she's chasing down the Leos. She gonna capture the, I guess she's a lion tamer. I don't know. In another lifetime. But just those little activities right there. But
Right.
I told her, I said, when you meet people, I said, just ask. I said, get their birthdays and find out, you know, ask them about their parents and see how they talk about their mother or their father. That let you know a whole lot. You don't even have to know nothing.
Yeah, I
Or
wish I
are you?
had that advice when, well, RJ wouldn't be here, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Now you're not gonna be able to mess up God's plan because he gonna get his babies here. I don't, you know,
Yes,
he
that's
gonna get
Oh
them
true.
here.
my
That's true.
God.
That's
Won't
true. But we, like I said, we weren't aware of the what is that? Septifuge is what it, I think that's the name that comes to mind, when someone's, we were empathetic
Ah,
toward, oh, really? That's, you're sleeping on the floor in your uncle's bedroom because your mother wants a whole room of clothing, where her clothes are. And I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah. Then I met Mama, and I met Mama's significant other. And I said, oh, they just wasn't down for the BS with you. That's what that was. And mama had to leave and she had to save herself. That's what that was. Oh, you don't like that. Okay. And
Wow.
there, narcissist was born.
Well, when the Bible talks about train up a child in the way that they should go, and if you do that, they won't go far. They won't go far. They'll return back to it and stuff. So that would include understanding um, the total of a person, understanding their signs, their rising, all that goes along with our beingness as on this human plane, this earth, needs to be investigated in regards to
Yes, Lord.
what the future may hold for your children, for yourself, but definitely for your children, and how important every aspect, like what name you call, like Sheila, they just liked Sheila, my whoever named me liked Sheila, Elaine, and on top of that, the way they spelled it was not with an E on it. So when you look at my you look at that, and then my birth certificate, and it has ELAIN, but that was like a typographical error,
Right.
you
Right.
know. So it's just so much, and then you find out you think you're this, like you think you one person, and then you find out, okay, so for instance, we celebrate their birthday on February 1st. And then later on in life, I find out I wasn't born in February. I was adopted, and they find my real records, and I'm Taurus, and yeah, yeah, yeah. And the name, and oh well, because I know a friend of mine, he'll hear your name, and then he'll say, oh, you're this, you're this, blah, 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 blah. Just by that name, just saying the name and stuff. So thank God the Spirit has given us so many ways to know ourselves. And in the fullness of time, for whatever that is, in other words, the fullness of time, in the fullness of time, we're doing Elizabeth now, not 10 years ago, not later.
Right.
This is the fullness of time for this that is happening. And yeah, it all comes out. And what is all? All is what you have right then. Because there's definitely more about Queen Aduni, Sheila, whatever. There's more to me than what my mama and my daddy, and more to me because I knew him. I met him and such, but he didn't raise me, and I was not hanging around him or anything like that. But I know I have some of his traits.
Yes.
And one, he was a very athletic person. So what I've learned is that my body does respond quickly. But my discipline of doing what it takes to walk in the fullness of my health is where there's the challenge of discipline.
Right.
And yeah, but it's just amazing all that we don't know, which is beautiful. All that we don't know is beautiful. That we know, wonderful. But that we don't know, because that means there is the foreverness. There goes the infinity. There goes we don't know the future.
Right.
And that's okay. Yeah. And we just work with what we do know until we learn some more. We add that to it, And then, then maybe I'm living in Alaska where I would never go where it's cold. And something
Right.
right. Oh my goodness. So anyway, well, my queens, it is 10 o'clock.
All right.
Everybody, is there a way you wanted to close it or just hear from everybody?
Yes, please. Everybody chime in and just let me hear your voice because it was quiet. I know some of it could be overwhelming. This information could be overwhelming, but like I said, there's so many wonderful things that we can use, tools that we can use to help us get through this life because we need all the help we can get, especially now.
Mhm, mhm. And then, some things just like, why do I keep doing that? Why do I sabotage myself in this
Yes.
area? And it could very well be, like you said, that's because in this area, you're rising or you're whatever.
Right. The
Yeah, that's
influence
what
of
you're
it.
focusing. Why am I don't deal with this, or I get through this seventh house. I
Mhm.
do that easy. That's
Right.
like how come you don't understand this? Because I've already
Right.
mastered that.
Mhm.
And yeah, just knowing all of that.
Just like when we see a fault, we call it a fault in someone or you need to do this, this, and this, and they don't. That's not the lesson that they're here to learn. They're here to learn what they're here to learn, not what you think they're here to. Why don't
Right.
just
Yeah.
like the card said, you turn it into a way to liberate yourself and forgive yourself and understand that for yourself because it's that since you see it, that's your lesson, not their lesson. That's why you think people not listening to them. It's not that they're not listening to, they're on their path for what they need to learn. Let's walk together. I need help with this.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So much
And that's why when they talk about praying in the spirit, in other words, praying in tongues, it says because you don't know what you need to pray for as you ought. You don't know. Because like you said, that person may be dealing with this, and we think you just need to get something, da, 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 da. No, shut up, pray in the spirit, or, if you don't pray, but, pray with no agenda of your own. Pray for the soul and the guidance and the liberation and all that kind of stuff of where for that person and ourselves, because we think we just need to do a certain thing and God is over here. No, I'm waiting on you to come on back over here and deal with this.
Let me have you meet so and so.
Possession.
And then they'll put people in and then he'll also put people in your place so that you can learn the lesson. That's why they were, man, it's all connected and all beautiful.
It's all good.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's all connected. I need you to meet so and so because I need you to see that you need to work on blah 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 blah. That's God. That's what God does. We don't need to do that because we don't know all the nuances, but He knows what we need on our path.
Yeah.
And we on the path together.
Yes.
There it is.
All right. Anyone else want to share before we go out of here? Oh, we finally see the whole person of, oh my goodness gracious.
Beautiful, beautiful. I've been seeing Mama Chica.
Garcia. She's coming on through. We see little pieces of her. And you see her walking around and she had an orange or something in her hand, something orange to walk away. But now I guess your camera said, okay, she's going to do this. So let me just do right. So we want to hear from everybody before we close out. Just what did you get out of today?
Thank you, Mama Het.
Welcome, Star.
I missed some of it because my phone died. I didn't know it was that low. But it is recorded, so.
Okay. It was probably just time for you to do something different for the moment. Have a moment of self-time. That's probably what it was. All in divine order. Thank you.
Garcia?
Well, I feel like I'm excited and interested. I'm feeling pulled to
more understanding and more self-reflection. And
Mm,
I appreciate the, I should say, the stimulation.
I say, Mama Evelyn, what's up, girl?
Oh, well, I want an addition to my name so I can change things.
So you can evolve.
So I can evolve and I can, so yeah, I want to talk to several people about what they think.
Yeah, yeah. There's a game. It's not a game. Well, I guess it is a game. Anyway, it's called Please Understand Me. Have you heard of that, Mama Het?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I haven't.
Please Understand Me is, I'm gonna bring it forth. You can go online and it's a book that we had. And it's so you take this test and you write down, it's a whole bunch of questions. And when they're asking the same thing in different ways. So you can't outthink it. You can't trick it, because it's going to ask it in another way down the road. And then when you finish, there are 4 categories that you're in. You're either introverted or extroverted and all the other other things. But when you read it, it's like, oh my goodness, yeah, this is me. And it's going to tell you all your wonderful things. It's going to tell you also your challenges of life and stuff. So you might want to, when you're doing that, Mama Evelyn, you might want to do that as well. And so that you get it from all kind of different sources. What I learned is that there were many things that I learned, but in this particular thing, I learned that when you're putting groups together, like you don't have 3 leaders. You don't have really, in one group.
Right, that's going to be collision. So you need to spread them out.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. And so learning, and when I started teaching natural hair, that would be one of the things that they would take. So I would know who's in my class.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I would know why one is jumps back at the other one as soon as they give some good information, because this is I know everything, whatever.
And some Aquarians and some fixed signs, people that are fixed signs, they not like, I'm a fixed sign. I ain't moving on this idea until you convince me different.
Yes. And so, so when I would couple them or group them, I would kind of know, how to best do that.
Right.
And I know that has helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that has helped.
Save a whole lot of trouble. Because I used to do that with the students in class. The children that were the busiest, I would have them, okay, you come up here and teach such and such, and going up to the board. Or I had one young man that was just cutting up in my class, and I called him up and said, come on and read. And the kid said, he can't read, Miss House. I said, he gonna read today. So what I did was I read the book and had him repeat it after me. I said, he read today.
Yes.
They won't say that about him no more.
Yes.
That's why he was mad. Baby, listen. You better use it. You better use it. Wow, this was good. All right. So if anybody wants me to do their chart or help with that, just contact me. We're online on Elizabeth Visionary Conference on Facebook. And reach out. Oh, we also need to check our website, because I've gone on it 2 days in a row, and she's out there. She must be looking for some more Elizabeths. That's what's happening.
No, I got to make this payment. I've been trying to do it and I can't. So I had to last night, I just said, you know what? I just have to call them tomorrow. I'll have to just call them and let them tell me what to do. I'm doing my glutes, baby, right now.
I know. But listen, I'm going to go ahead. Let me send me a text and let me know what the amount is, because maybe I can, do a little something.
Something. I just, where do you go and stuff. Matter of fact, it was quite a few that I had to update on my, on my thing. And thank you so much for being sensitive to that. financial obligation. Thank you so much. Okay, hug yourself, give your hair some good loving, and hug the world because it so needs it.
Yes.
Everybody,
We all need
everybody,
it.
everybody.
All right, give hugs to your children. And I want to know how one day I want you to share, Mama Head, how you and your husband met.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, my fellow Cancer. Does he like water?
Oh my goodness, he's a swimmer. He swims, and he hasn't. I do my best to get him in the water and pool. He's like, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm like, okay, but I might get him in there, even if it's just a tub. Come on, get in this tub.
Peace out.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Love y'all.
Bye-bye.
Take care.